The culture is absolutely...
The gut ain't running animal! Calling both games.
In Buffalo's case, their needs are relatively simple, if merely in theory. Get help for Josh Allen in the running game, bolster the interior line, and maybe an extra piece or two to reinforce the defense. Allen is an excellent piece, but last year's bitter defeat proved that he alone can't do it all. For the line, Roger Saffold was added for reinforcement. I would congratulate them on signing J.D. McKissick, but he got cold feet at the altar and ran out of the church. O.J. Howard, Daquan Jones, and the legend of Case Keenum brought in his depth. Watching as Kansas City marched on their defense with 2 plays has haunted the Bills. They respond with a major splash on defense. His name is Von Miller. Name brand goodness for 6 years. $20 million per year? For a 33-year-old edge? I know everyone's gonna say that's not how NFL contracts work, but he's getting $51 million guaranteed. This is a 3-year contract for a man with injury concerns and father time beating at his door. Buffalo's not paying him for what he can do, but what he was. He's still a good player, but at that price? I'd rather pass. There's still work to be done. Don't rest yet. Maybe it has to do with the new stadium being built, but it could do with holes to fill as well.
Buffalo Bills select Kaiir Elam, defensive back, Florida.
One of the biggest concerns for Buffalo coming into the draft was at corner. Not just with Levi Wallace leaving, but let's not forget how they lost in the playoffs. Giving up 2 big plays within 13 seconds? That trauma needs to be addressed. Kaiir Elam is hopefully the answer to rectifying such woes. With Tre'Davious White coming back from injury, having someone to alleviate pressure and pass defense is paramount. Will Elam be it? The last corner they drafted in the late first worked out well. It was only Tre'Davious White. Maybe it's an omen. If there's any good news, they will no longer have a built-in excuse for collapsing on defense in the final 13 seconds of regulation. However, despite the cries of football fans everywhere, the Bills are going to have to try to get back to that mountain again. No checkpoints in this game. It should be easy to get back there. Come on, with the offensive weapons they have, with the hopefully legit bell cow running back this season to complement Devin Singletary, with that defense near full strength, adding Von Miller to it, minus an injury to Jordan Poyer, it should be as smooth as the way Buffalo handed them a new stadium on a silver platter. However, as Buffalo knows from experience, there's a honeymoon period on a team's success. If time passes and the Bills still can't get over the hump, optimism will turn into vitriol. Those are the dangerous vices of expectations, and the line between those 2 emotions is much thinner than we'd like to admit. Kind of like the punk god Matt Araiza. He was beloved, until allegations of being involved in a gang rape came to light. These accusations are fucking heinous. Get the fuck out, Matt. Go right to fucking jail right fucking now. The AFC, just like last season, is going to be a bloodbath. You can make the argument for nearly every team to be able to reach the promised land of the playoffs. And as a fan of the game, you can't ask for much more. The AFC East is pretty cut and dry, though. Buffalo will be taking that division with ease. The AFC North will go to Baltimore. Considering that they're finally healthy and able to field a respectable team should do wonders for them. To me, the AFC South is a coin flip between Indy and Tennessee. And I'm going to err on the side of the Titans for the time being. It's very close, though, just like the AFC West. Every team has a shot at winning the division. And for my sake, I'm going to go bold and pick the Broncos. I know, insane, but they actually have a QB and hopefully non-shitty play calling. That's all they needed. And as for the wildcards, it's a tough call, but I'm going to go with Kansas City, the Chargers, and the Bengals. I personally can't wait to see how wrong I am in these predictions, as always. Maybe they'll be as slow to develop as my vid schedule. Opening night has become a spectacle rivaling the Hunger Games. District 1 in LA gets to flex on us mere peons for being a city of champions. While celebrating, little did they know that Buffalo is still pissed off about last year, and they need a punching bag. The Bills said nothing. They merely walked into SoFi, bludgeoned Matthew Stafford into a pulp, divvied up his carcass to the 4 corners of the field, and left to shrieking celebrities. While proceeding to shit all over everything the Rams held dear, Josh Allen took the charge by destroying everything laid in front of him, and ripping a man's soul out of his body. The Rams were as dead as the Queen was shortly after the 3rd quarter. Whose house, you say? Judging from the crowd's reaction, it's Buffalo's. You may think that public sacrifices were considered taboo hundreds of years ago, but in Buffalo, it's still a way of life. They have returned triumphantly, with many titans held prisoner in their possession. One by one, these men are brought to the 50-yard line. Hefty portions of ketchup and mustard are doused on their bodies, and a knife is driven through their ribcage. As they scream in agony, Bill's Mafia cheers in bloodlust. Their still beating hearts are consumed to give them strength. It is ritual annihilation, and there will be nothing to stop them. Ryan Tannehill must sit on the sidelines and watch in horror as his pleas are intercepted. Buffalo will march forward to their next victim. Or is it that Tennessee is just a bad team this year? An epic duel of AFC East powerhouses. Unfortunately for us, the football gods added a mod that forced this game to be played in the equivalent of Hell's Armpit. Extreme fatigue and cramping were the names of the game here. Buffalo's down a shitload of key defenders in this match. Not to mention Micah Hyde's out for the year. Miami has their chance to usurp control of the division. It was almost unthinkable a few weeks ago, but the opportunity has presented itself nonetheless. What we have is a war of attrition. Who can overcome the elements in front of them? Will it be Josh Allen and his army of table smashers? Or the Tua truthers? They may be held back by a concussion to Tua, but with enough Toradol injected in him, he's ready to go after halftime. Buffalo is a slight lead into the second half, but offense has been very tough to come by. Both defenses have come to play today. They'll make sure every inch is earned on this humid battlefield. Despite this conflict, the greatest wounds might be self-inflicted, as Tyler Bass misses a mid-range field goal to give Miami life. In a further testament to his haters losing ground, Tua throws a beautiful spiral on 3rd and long to give Miami not only momentum, but the lead itself. However, you can't count out Buffalo. They're out for blood, and that just happens to include the suckers facing them. These prisoners will be nice for future sacrifice at home. Bill's Mafia pushes to the goal line, but they can't get past this fortification. 4th down is upon them. Can they break it?
4th and goal, and he throws short, incomplete.
Josh Allen's heroics couldn't lift that pass to an open receiver. Pity. They'll need the defense to stand tall, and they do. But scoring is a different beast entirely.
I don't know, this is risky. And it was oh my goodness, blocked indeed.
Or we will receive the greatest bounty. Eureka! We have found the ultimate meme. Butt punt! The modern meme play for a modern world. Not only does it allow Mark Sanchez to wipe his brow, it allows the Bills to win this with a field goal. With the ball back and no timeouts, time is of the essence. The sands of the hourglass continue to fall.
Allen, up, grabbed, gets away. Oh my goodness, how did he escape? It goes off to McKenzie. He'll drive and dance. The clock continues to tick. He picks up 11. The clock is at 5. The clock is at 3. Miami is 1. Zeros on the clock.
Man, ain't that a gut punch. Do everything you can to win, yet you lose due to shit luck. Ken Dorsey agrees with the sentiment in the press box. To be honest, I don't blame him for flipping out after this revelation. In different circumstances with a healthy defense and better weather conditions, the Bills probably win this. All the credit in the world to the Dolphins, but this is going to sting in Buffalo for a while. It'll be a bit before you can get revenge, but the weather advantage will be on your side by then. But this is Miami's time to shine. They are now kings of the East. Strange to say. Perhaps this time Baltimore can manage to bury their opponent. They best not forget what happened here a few weeks ago. Buffalo looks like complete shit, and the Ravens have capitalized on the brutality. The name of the game is slaughter, and Bills are on the menu. How does it feel to self-destruct for once, Buffalo? The Ravens are up 20-3 in the second quarter, and a division lead is ripe for the taking. For a normal team, they would drive the stake right through their opponent's heart. However, Baltimore is not a normal team. Their offense gets chicken shit whenever they get a big lead. It forces their defense out onto the field for long stretches of time. You can't get passive against Buffalo, even if they are imploding in front of you. Those flames will eventually consume you. Can you take a wild guess as to what happened? Yes, the Bills managed to get back into the game. Who knew that a Greg Roman offense shuts down with passive play calling? Who knew that a John Harbaugh team can't seal the deal at home? Buffalo surely did. They're punishing them for their sin. When Baltimore tries desperately to reboot their systems, they keep making mistake after mistake. The game is now tied. But the Ravens get a chance to win the narratives. Lamar is compiling evidence to support his quest for league MVP. He gets them down to the goal line, but then Buffalo's defense holds firm. Even with their injuries, the Bills stand tall. John Harbaugh knows he has to win, and he will go for it on 4th down.
Ravens go for it on 4th and goal. Jackson fading. Jackson throws. Intercepted.
It might have been a mistake. The defense, being unable to hold the might of Josh Allen, continues to give up endless tracts of land. Not to mention the wonders of ref ball coming to fuck over Baltimore at the worst time. This is apparently roughing the passer. Another certified Jerome Boger moment. Scapegoat it all you want, but the Ravens shit the bed again. Their second blown lead of at least 3 scores in 3 weeks. Marcus Peters has every right to be pissed at John Harbaugh for his worthless game planning. He's merely channeling the emotions of every Raven fan out there. So while Buffalo snatches a win from Baltimore's grasp, we can only hope people get fired for this failure. The sad part is it'll probably be Marcus Peters or a Waterboy.
We blew it, Pants. What do you mean, we?
Dear God. Pittsburgh is supposed to have the most expensive defense in the NFL. Did they mean they just bought a bunch of NFTs last year? Because I don't know how else to justify it. When the entire structure of a defense goes to absolute shit because of one injury, you have to wonder what the fuck the game plan even is. Buffalo destroyed anything that was supposed to resemble Steeler football. They outclassed them in every single facet of the game. Far superior in terms of talent. Vastly outcoaching them. Dissecting every organ of the team as a middle school science experiment. Pittsburgh best resembled an abandoned steel mill. It was productive a while ago, but now lies hollow and rusting. The sad part is it should have been even worse. Josh Allen missed a few big passes in the second half and let Pittsburgh destroy itself afterwards. Even in the scrums later on, the Bills beat the shit out of the Steelers. As I said, dear God, 1 in 7 is a very real possibility. It's not happening, goddammit! We all remember what happened against these teams in January. One of the greatest games the NFL has ever seen. A battle between gods. This rematch did not disappoint. It was a duel that exemplified the best the league has to offer. More of a defensive-oriented game, but one with both showcasing quality football. The claimants to the AFC throne fighting to reclaim the title. Buffalo seeking vengeance for 13 seconds, 2 plays, and the bad fortune of a flipped coin. Things are so casual that Harrison Butker is breaking his team's record for longest field goal and nobody bats an eyelash. It's a contest where every mistake is amplified. Since there aren't too many of those to even go around, slowly the clock ticks away. Slowly both teams will take shots at their opponent. A heavyweight bout where billions of dollars in damages are done by collateral. It's a proving ground for Buffalo. Down by 3 with 5 minutes left, they will need a drive to overcome the elements of Arrowhead. Every yard precious in the no man's land of war. But time continues to whittle away, and Josh Allen needs to needle a strike.
Here comes Allen. Looking long. Throws to the end zone. And the ball is caught!
Buffalo has secured the lead, but they're not out of the woods yet. They know all too well that Kansas City bullshit is very real.
1st and 10. Mahomes intercepted! And that's Taron Johnson with the theft!
The Bills are granted vengeance. Their temporary place on the throne of the AFC is secure. Any challengers must go through them and them alone. Rest, Buffalo. You have more than earned this win. But do not become complacent. The NFL world is a very cutthroat place. After last week's humiliating loss to the Commies, Green Bay was hoping for a bounce-back game. I hate to tell them this, but their next opponent is Buffalo in Buffalo. They are a well-oiled machine that stops for nothing, not even underachieving offensive units. The Packers will predictably lose because they lack the strength and firepower that they had in previous seasons. Sacrifice is on the menu in Buffalo, and it's always their opponent. All you can do if you're in Wisconsin is look for silver linings. At least you didn't get completely fucking destroyed by the Bills. The NFC is enough of a mosh pit that you can secure a wildcard spot. They finally managed to utilize the damn running game to positive effect. There's nothing to do but grasp at straws. Or if you're Jair Alexander, try and start a grudge with Stephon Diggs. Roughly half the league is in some stage of false hope. It only means more comedy for the rest of us down the line. It was no secret that the Bills were trying to get another running back for their offense. The push to get back to the Super Bowl is a strong one, but they have some tweaking that needs to be done. They were linked to every running back worth a damn. But Buffalo needs to wait for the right offer. It came from Indianapolis, and the excellent pass-catching option in Nyheim Hines. The prime backfield receiving option was a weakness for the Bills, and Hines unironically fits the bill perfectly. He didn't cost a ton either, just excess goods in Zach Moss and a sixth. Good bit of business. And with that, the trade deadline has passed. Somehow, moves were made. And I think this is what the short-term future is going to hold for the NFL. The Rams set the blueprint, and people will do anything to chase a ring. We'll see you next week. The magical run of the New York Jets is sure to end here, isn't it? It's Buffalo they're playing against. No way they win with Zach Wilson under center. Or do they? Josh Allen chose to celebrate a throwback. A throwback to how raw and messy he was in his first 2 years in the league. With every awful throw, he can still show flashes of brilliance. Like with this incredible run for a touchdown. With it being 14-3, you'd think the Jets would simply lie down and die. Absolutely not. More like a counterpunch to keep the game within striking distance. Imagine a fumble ending their ambitions as a winner today. But then ugly Josh Allen made another appearance as Buffalo wonders what malfunctioned in his robot body. New York nearly fucks it up again in hilarious fashion. But Zach Wilson does something unprecedented. He throws a ball accurately to his own team. Jets lead. Then becomes a struggle. A fight as Buffalo is somehow caught in the mud with an inferior opponent. Remember, in the pits, everyone is equal. Such as this game as it returns to a tie. Afterwards, everyone gets salty at Sauce Gardner for allegedly defending by means of uncalled penalties. Jets get the ball back and move down the field. They find it in them to get to the goal line, but are stuck with a field goal. However, they have the lead with time winding down. I don't believe what I'm seeing. The Bills will come back. They always do. Right, Bills? You're going to come back, right?
Allen running around. Jets try to stick with him. Allen tosses. Deep ball on the way. Incomplete.
The Jets won. Oh my God. The prophecies are true. The almighty coin has returned to bless another franchise. Forgive me for not believing. I am a fool in my doubt. My condolences to Jets fans. You are going to lose your next 2 games. But you're apparently making the AFC Championship this year. Congratulations. No, I told you guys I want to pursue other projects. We don't need to dilute the YouTube pool with more meaningless shit. Think about quality. This channel's falling off with all this garbage. Then again, that would imply this channel wasn't garbage to begin with. This isn't an ordinary tongue-in-cheek greatest game as we usually showcase on this awful channel. This matchup is worthy of the gods. 2 teams that have emerged as potential Super Bowl contenders with their strong starts. On the opposing corner, the Minnesota Vikings. The most unsung, seldom talked about 7-1 team you will ever see. A group instantly revived after shedding the cancer of Mike Zimmer. Amazing how replacing a culture of fear of something resembling a real locker room can help players maximize their potential. However, there are doubters. Their highlights are beating Week 1 Packers and Miami sending Skylar Thompson to his death. This next matchup will be their first true test. The Buffalo Bills at their home are on the docket. A true machine and worthy Super Bowl contender. A team loading up for an all-in push with moves to overcome their horrible menace in Kansas City. We can take a guess or two as to why that might be. Things look good for them at first glance, but issues are starting to bubble to the surface. Josh Allen has not been himself. He's throwing terrible passes in the red zone not seen since his first 2 years in the league. Not to mention that he's dealing with a UCL injury. Allegedly minor, but one slight push could result in the end of his season. Their secondary is banged up by injury, and pieces aren't meshing together optimally. It's resulted in a horrible fate. Losing to the Jets. No man should have to suffer through that. To say Buffalo must win this game is hyperbole, but it wouldn't hurt. Dreams of securing the division potentially hang in the balance. Giving up big passes to Justin Jefferson to start the game after a 3-and-out isn't a good way to do that. In fact, being unable to stop Justin Jefferson whatsoever. That touchdown was as easy as he does the gritty. Don't worry, the hamstring was in on the act. Maybe Duke Johnson was as well with this big return. I was wondering where this guy went off to. He was good in Cleveland. But this sound unleashed the power of the Bills' offense. Not from Josh Allen, but by Devin Singletary. Diversity in offense is a good thing. Allen will come around soon enough. The defense does at least. Josh will flash his brilliance on the next drive, spreading his greatness to all of the weapons at his disposal. Not just with his arm, but with his legs. As the defense expects Josh to carry the rock, give it to the running backs to secure another touchdown. Kirk Cousins would do something, but he's only optimal when playing against 2-7 teams. He airmails a pass to the Bills' defense. Keep your shirt on today, buddy. It's celebration time in Buffalo. As the snow falls, the heads of their enemies do as well. Perhaps we can find where Josh Allen's head went off to. He's making very erratic throws as of late. I don't know if it's the elbow or different looks from defenses, but his decision-making's just not there. The Bills will settle for a field goal. A new game must be played. Can Buffalo stop a third down? The answer there is yes. Eventually. They stopped them on the most important one, so Minnesota must settle for 3. Buffalo can now start to put this away. Look at the offense cook. Beef on Weck for every receiver Josh Allen can throw it to. It's only a matter of time before the feast will commence. The roast burned in the oven. A self-inflicted wound that may yet give the Vikings life. If you get to your opponent's 35, it better. Spoiler alert for those in the audience, it didn't. A 4th down was stymied by Kirk Cousins syndrome. Take 2 on the preparation for the feast. This time they had someone watching the oven to make sure everything didn't burn down. With the passing game, the Bills march to the dinner table. May the feast begin. Why the hell do I keep talking about food? I know I'm a fat ass, but it's a bit overkill. It's only halftime with the Bills up by 14. Should be over, right? Not if Minnesota has something to say about it. They smell the roast and are hungry for meat. Good news, Kirk, you're next to go into the oven. I never said that Buffalo didn't enjoy exotic flesh. They're so stuffed that they go 3-and-out on the next drive. The Vikings are still trying to recover from the bite mark, so they're forced to punt back as well. The Bills attempt to march back to further solidify their lead, but are ironically stuffed by descendants of purple people eaters. Fortunately, a field goal does make this a 3-score game, so they'll take it. It's do-or-die time for the Vikings. Time is slipping away. Oh yeah, they have Dalvin Cook. He's pretty damn good, isn't he? His elusiveness brings Minnesota back from the jaws of death itself. 10-point game. Cause for concern? Not for an old friend of the Vikes.
Allen again rolls. On the move, lets it fly. Oh, catch! Oh, what a catch!
This is why Buffalo pays this man the big bucks. Death-defying one-handed grabs like this. With this effortless athleticism and some Josh Allen heroics on 3rd down, victory is all but assured. Down to the red zone with time to spare. Take us home, Josh.
So here we go. Allen on 4th and 2. Keeps it alive. Josh Allen into the end zone, and it's picked by Peterson.
Josh, man, what the hell was that? I thought you got rid of those jitters in year 3. You went for it on 4th because they trusted you, not to stab them in the back. Worse, Allen looks banged up after the play. Not that it matters, they can end the Vikings' dreams on 4th and 1. They cannot. Make a damn tackle, boys. Wrap up and drive. Better yet, don't give up back-to-back 4th down sometime. If you did that, Minnesota wouldn't have driven down the field against a demoralized unit. Touchdown Vikes. Good for C.J. Ham. Fullbacks represent. Now, only if they didn't have a curse with kickers. Maybe that's what Buffalo envisioned when giving up those 4th downs. Minnesota's going to need at least 5 miracles to have a chance at winning now. One of them is Harrison Smith with a big breakup. The ball is theirs again, down by 4 with 3 minutes left. Can they find a way to overcome the elements? Can they prove themselves as legit? It's looking to be now. A 4th and long with Kirk Cousins? Yeah, good luck with that one.
Kirk Cousins back to throw on 4th and 18. He's given time. He wants Jefferson. Climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness!
I really have to stop assuming shit. I said that Stephon Diggs' catch was death-defying. Justin Jefferson just ripped a potential win right out of Buffalo's grasp. The corner's attempt to catch the ball instead of swatting it away gives them a chance. It's enough for Jefferson to get Minnesota right to the goal line with a minute left. First down. Let's ignore that play. Second down. Hail-mailed for Jefferson, no flags on the field. Third down. Justin Jefferson fucking did it.
Hold it!
Never mind, his knee was down before the ball crossed the plane. 4th and goal at the 1. The ultimate test of strength and courage. What will ensue?
Cousins to throw. Cousins has Cook. He dropped the ball.
Oh, shitty football, I missed you so. Dalvin Cook just got bailed out by a defensive offsides call. We have to do it again. Everything I said previously, but with more intensity. We decide the game here.
Cousins to sneak it. Can he break the plane? Is he in? No signal yet. Still waiting. He's short. They slam the door.
Oh well. GG, Vikings. It was a damn good effort, but like all things in your franchise's history, you must be the eternal bridesmaid. Buffalo begins their celebration as victory is all but assured. The Twitter posts the posturing, the victory lap. It's a win they nearly pissed away, but a win nonetheless. They may be at the half-yard line, but this game's over. We'll see you next week on how this league's gonna fucking kill me.
Zero breathing room. He tries to sneak it. The ball is loose. Impossible. Do the Vikings have it? Scramble for the ball. It is a touchdown on their last breath.
What the fuck just happened? God, I really need to stop drinking. A botched snap, ball goes off the center's thigh, and Eric Kendricks pounces on it for a Vikings touchdown. Do you believe in fucking miracles? You better now. Minnesota overcame every single bullet fired at them to take the lead at the last moment. Holy shit, what a game. And we're not finished yet.
Here I come to save the day.
You tend to forget that Josh Allen is still pretty good at throwing the rock. Mahomes can do it in 13 seconds, while Josh can do it in about as short a time frame. Cue the music. We have a tie ball game. Goddamn. I don't mean to piss on this parade, but this field goal shouldn't have happened. That sideline catch by Gabe Davis should have been incomplete. He never had full possession of the ball according to the NFL's rulebook. I don't know why the officials didn't stop play when that happened. Thanks to that, we have overtime. The Vikings will secure the ball first, and make sure any rumors of fraudulence are put to rest, mostly due to Justin Jefferson. He takes them down all the way to the 1. A chance of revenge for the last time they were here is within reach. Can they do it? They cannot. Fortunately, they can kick the field goal and take a 3-point lead. The sad part is the Bills got away with murder on this drive as well. They had 12 men on the field on 1st and goal. Jesus, Minnesota's had at least 10 miracles and 2 of them undone by missed calls. Now Buffalo has to strike hard and fast. It's Josh Allen's time for redemption. His legs will carry this team to field goal range and even more chaos. But Buffalo wants more. A breakup in the end zone on 1st down will not deter them. Allen will use his arm to finish this.
2nd and 10. Allen steps up and throws. An interception! Patrick Peterson!
Josh, that's not what we meant by finish this. Pat Pete read that like it was Dr. Seuss. All of Buffalo lies in stunned silence. They had the knife on Minnesota's throat the entire game and couldn't muster it within themselves to kill. Hell, even the Zebras were trying to help you out. Overcoming all odds, the Vikings have their statement win of the season, and quite possibly one of the best wins in their team's history. A miracle of miracles for a city deprived of them. This win probability meter for both teams isn't a simple sheet. It's an EKG reading. Everyone died and rose again at least 6 separate times. This wasn't just a game, but truly a game of legend. It had everything you could ask for. Prolific offense, stout defense, endless chaos, efficient and sloppy play. If you didn't like this, I dare say you don't like football. And that's fine. My only counter-argument? The Vikings on the team play. We were robbed. This should have been a glimmering adventure in a winter wonderland. Buffalo had over 6 feet of snow pelted over the span of 4 days. The mother load was upon us. But then the NFL suddenly decided to care about player and fan safety. It punished both teams by sending them to a dystopian hellscape where all hope dies. Detroit. Even as Buffalo was buried by snow, over 50,000 Bills fans traveled by snowmobile to Ford Field. They saw their team rebound to 4. The asterisk is that it's against the Browns, but as long as you can get off the schneid, you'll take it. I'm more concerned over the fact that Josh Allen's elbow seems to be significantly impacting his throws, but it is a win. The offense dominated, and it should have been even uglier if Buffalo could in any way cover Amari Cooper. There were a bunch of red flags for the Bills, but it was only a 1-score game due to garbage time. Speaking of garbage, Deshaun Watson's practicing with the Browns again. He'll be back in 2 weeks. Ironically against his old team. How convenient. Kind of like the Bills playing here again on Turkey Day. Don't go too far, boys. At least Buffalo didn't have to go far for this one. They went back to Buffalo for a few days, dug Bills Mafia out of feet of snow, and then went back to Detroit to kick more irrelevant franchise ass. However, this isn't your father's Detroit Lions. They've been known to keep up in shootouts with offensive juggernauts so far this year. This team's going to fight dirty and capitalize on their opponent's mistakes. Good for them, Buffalo's made a ton of them. The whole team just looks off. The offense can't get into sync in the second half. Recurring issues in the secondary emerged again. Maybe it's just bad luck. The Bills got Tre'Davious White back only to lose Von Miller. Potentially for a while. All of that leads to a tight affair, one where the Bills are at death's door. However, like most games they play on Thanksgiving, the Lions ran themselves into endless landmines. Ed Oliver destroying their offensive line to save Josh Allen's ass with a safety. The Money Badger reminding us all why we mock him for naming himself the goddamn Money Badger. And when Buffalo went up by 3, there was whatever this final drive was. It starts out methodical and conservative. Fine, I guess, but you're still burning way too much clock. After that, a go route on a 3rd and 1? You had 2 timeouts left. The worst part is DJ Chark had him beat. Jared Goff horribly missing on key throws. Where is this happening?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm meteorologist Tim Pandages here at the KHOU 11 Weather Center. I want to cut in this afternoon here at 2:43 to let you know that we have a tornado warning.
Detroit tied the game, but we all know what's happening with 23 seconds left. A Josh Allen dime. And carrying these fuckers to field goal range single-handedly with a banged-up elbow. Have to maintain narrative.
From 45, and the kick. Oh, it's good!
This narrow escape from the claws of death, Ford Field as their first back-to-back winner in their stadium since 2016. It's not the Lions. If that's not peak Detroit, I don't know what to tell you. There comes a time where you've been in a situation for so long, you stop giving a shit about results. The more I see the New England Patriots, the more I believe Bill Belichick is simply choosing to troll us all. You can't look me in the eyes and say that Matt Patricia and Joe Judge can lead any sort of offense. I feel like the hoodie's headset isn't connected to the team booth, but to the set of impractical jokers. Everyone has a good old time as Buffalo methodically dissects not only the Patriots' defense, but Gillette Stadium as a whole. No wonder why Boston is pissed. I see more life out of Al Michaels broadcasting games these days. The Bills dominated this affair like they've dominated the rivalry as of late. Doesn't it suck when the shoe's on the other foot, Pats fans? Oh, poor Mac Jones. Someday you'll be rescued from this offensive hell. It's the curse of Buffalo to somehow lose when you convincingly win. That blood toll will be paid today in Von Miller. There was some hope for him. Von allegedly escaped death itself on Ford Field turf as he'd only be out for a few weeks. Sadly, the lie detector determined that was indeed a lie. He tore his ACL. Surgery needed. His season's over. The MRIs were trolling you, Buffalo, and that news shanks them right in the core. They kinda needed him for the playoffs. It's not a trip to fuck city yet, but it's deflating. You can have nothing good in this world, boys. Sorry about that. A throwback to the 1970s, when grinding physical football was the norm, when every inch gained would cost a pound or more of flesh. In the cold chasms of Buffalo, there would be such an affair. A battle of defense. A battle of trench warfare. A battle of attrition. A relentless struggle to do anything with the football. Snow pelting the backs of bloodied soldiers on both sides of the killing field. The Bills managed to strike first with a touchdown, but it's not until deep in the second quarter, and they had to pay dearly for it. The Jets have been playing behind all game long. It would stay that way, but not for lack of trying. That was before Mike White was motherfucked on the field of play. Save your tears, he's gonna man up and return to the field right after this fumble by the so-called elite Flacco. The Bills don't care, for there's winning to be had in this match. And by God, they had to earn this one. Nothing else to say. A tribute to old school football through and through. Mike White toughed it out like a warrior, and earned a much-deserved trip to the hospital after the game as a precautionary measure. The mark of a true soldier. The playoff push is reaching its final stages. Only one spot has been clinched by Philadelphia, but 4 weeks remain. In the AFC, it's wide open. Buffalo currently has number 1 seed, but Kansas City is close behind, if only because of a head-to-head loss with the Bills. Baltimore currently has the AFC North lead in the 3rd spot, and Tennessee has a loosening grip of the caboose division in the AFC South. Wildcards are currently held by Cincinnati, Miami, and the Patriots, but the Chargers and Jets are tied with New England at 7 and 6. A few other teams are 5 and 8, but they're long shots at this point. The picture will become clearer as time goes on. And as we all know, there's only one rule to follow.
Don't get eliminated!
If Miami thought that SoFi Stadium was cold last week, just wait until they get to Buffalo. They've been gunning for revenge after suffering in a swamp of shit in September. Now the elements are on their side. As the freezing conditions snap at Miami's will, Bills Mafia will be pelting them all with snowballs laced with ice. The choice of lording over your enemy or a 15-yard penalty. I go with the former. Buffalo would agree with it as well, but the Dolphins refuse to die. The struggle to secure divisional supremacy is important to both franchises. Miami's been on a little skid as of late, and they need to right this ship. What we have here is an epic. A battle between two well-run franchises that are desperate to assert themselves as elite. Blows being traded left and right in the frozen tundra. Snow falls heavier as the stakes get higher. Almost like a climactic storyline coming to an end. Miami up by 8 with Buffalo charging like their namesake. A stampede of offense to bring them to the end zone. The 2-point conversion to tie barely crosses the plane. Just barely. On the next drive, the defense more than barely steps up and squashes what was a strong offensive showing. Buffalo forces Miami to bend. The Bills stand tall. They survive a clash and are granted revenge for their loss in the first showing. AFC East supremacy is all but theirs with this win. But that's not the true prize. We all know what they desire. A ring. We've had quite a lot of teams reach playoff land this week, didn't we? It doesn't mean we're anywhere close to settling how things will shake out. The AFC has many spots open to claim. Only Buffalo and Kansas City have clinched, and the Bills still have number 1 seed. Cincinnati overtakes Baltimore for the AFC North lead, as Ravens fans wonder why they keep squandering chances. Tennessee is far past that point. They've lost 4 straight and are in an existential state of dread. And for good reason. Baltimore has sole possession of the first wildcard spot with 9 wins, but it's probably a disappointment to them. Same as Miami, who falls behind the Chargers for the second wildcard spot thanks to losing their matchup with them earlier in the year. The Jets and Patriots both with back-breaking losses are the first teams out with 7 wins. They should be careful. There are a ton of teams with 6 wins. including Jacksonville, who's only a game back of their division lead. This is gonna be quite fucky, isn't it? Everyone left, you know what to say. Nothing screams Christmas time like playing football in horrifyingly cold conditions. I know the Bills are used to it, but this was the most frigid road game in team history. It didn't really affect Buffalo in the end result all that much, but when you're against a team with next to nothing, it's not hard to do. Things look questionable in the first half, but let's be real. You're playing the Bears. Their fans clamor for nothing more than a relentless tank. They will accept their quarterback that shows some semblance of a pulse. Do you know how rare that is for Chicago? That's the ultimate win of their damn season. Buffalo may dominate in every other aspect, especially in regards to the ground game. Winning means everything to them. Let them have it. What better way to solidify your claim to the AFC East than with an interception off Peter Mead? It's poetry in motion. I couldn't be prouder if I were Bills Mafia. With a few big losses this week, the NFL playoff picture has become a mosh pit, as has been written for time eternal. The AFC North is still neck and neck between Baltimore and Cincinnati. Guess who plays each other in Week 18? That contest will more than likely be for the division title. In the AFC South, same scenario. Tennessee has fallen apart so badly that Jacksonville now holds the division lead. No matter what happens next week, their matchup is guaranteed to be for the right to advance as division leader. There are no changes in the first 4 seeds, but Buffalo can clinch number 1 seed if a few things go their way next week. In the wildcards, we know either Baltimore or Cincy will get one, and the Chargers just clinched another. But with Miami in freefall, the 7th seed is now murky. The Jets and Patriots, despite being awful as of late, still have a fighting chance. The Titans and Jags can still technically be wildcards, but their best shot of making it is winning their division. Pittsburgh and Las Vegas are clinging on for dear life, and will need many miracles to make it.
Don't get eliminated!
Nothing in this game matters. Nothing. After what happened with Damar Hamlin, I don't give a fuck about anything besides his health. You can't play football after that. You just can't. Football isn't as important as someone's life. I will say no more about this. And honestly, no one should be forced to. It's hard to focus on the game itself after what happened on Monday, but there are playoff implications to go over. The premise for both is simple. Win and in, loser goes home. They put the game on Saturday night, though. Strange. As for the 7th seed in the AFC, some form of cannon fodder will secure it. New England controls their own destiny with a win and in scenario. Miami needs New England to lose and them to win to escape humiliation. The Steelers are still alive. They can somehow bullshit their way to it with a win and New England and Miami losing. Somehow. Fucking ridiculous.
Don't get eliminated!
The thoughts of the NFL world are with Damar Hamlin. In what can be described as a miracle, Hamlin's neurological function seems to be intact. As a result of what happened on Monday, it's to the surprise of few that the NFL called off the Bills-Bengals game. I say the surprise of few because the Shield has been known to force games to be played under similar circumstances. Maybe it's since they knew the playoff situation would be messed up as a result. Thanks to the no contest ruling, there will be a few wrinkles. If the Bills and Chiefs make it to the AFC Championship game, it will be played on a neutral site. This will occur if both the Bills and Chiefs win or tie, or they both lose and the Ravens win or tie. If the Chiefs and Bengals reach the AFC Championship and the Bengals win in Week 18, it will be played on a neutral site. As for the AFC North title, if the Bengals lose to the Ravens, home field advantage will be decided by a coin toss. You may say to yourself that Cincinnati's getting screwed over like a piece of drywall. You would be correct. Under the NFL rulebook, the division winner should be based off win percentage. Thus, Cincinnati should get home field. However, the NFL's never been known for consistency, have they? Week 18 is upon us regardless.
I know this is your time. You'd like to keep us updated.
Yeah, we'll keep everybody posted on Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Miami and the Jets were underway as New England decided to defer after winning the toss. And here's Hines on the run back, breaking a tackle and taking it past midfield. And down the sideline he goes. This is storybook.
Let this play be the rallying cry for Damar Hamlin. He may still be in critical condition in the hospital, but his spirit will charge the entirety of that stadium all game long. New England, it was nice knowing you, but there was no way the NFL was going to allow you to win this game in these circumstances. You've already had your glory. Much better to have a storybook situation play out in real time. Did you seriously expect Roger Goodell in person to watch to allow the Patriots to have anything good happen? Of course not. 2 touchdowns on kickoff returns by Nyheim Hines. That's all you need to know. This day was for the Bills, and it was one that was as predictable as 3 little pigs. 2 of those pigs happened to run the offense of the Patriots. They build their houses with ineptitude and twigs. Mac Jones is being held hostage as he throws pick after pick. New England must bow out. This is for DeMar. The rest of the NFL's been waiting to say this for a long time, Pats fans. Welcome to hell. And there you have one of the sloppiest NFL seasons we've seen in a long time. Depending on how you view things, it's either thanks to a revival of defense or incredibly terrible offense. I'm on the side of the latter, but when you see a collapse of anything resembling discipline and technique, it tends to be like that. But as the playoffs await, it's time to get sappy and sentimental. I consider Sportsball as a project of sorts, and it feels weird when it's over. I want to thank you for joining me for another year of this madness, and I wish you all nothing but the best. It's been 6 seasons since I started this series, and I somehow haven't lost my damn mind yet. Perhaps these playoffs will do the trick. I'll see you all for the Haters Guide. It's been a pretty fucky season for Buffalo, and that's putting things lightly. A year that's seen them lose countless defensive leaders to season-ending injuries. One where massive snowstorms and other weather phenomena thwarted their travel plans at every turn. One where a brother-in-arms was nearly taken away from them by a routine hit. Yet despite all of these obstacles, despite every situation that would kill other teams, it's only made them stronger. Their bond has never been firmer than it is now. Their high-flying offense, that of Josh Allen's dazzling spirals to Stephon Diggs' amazing catches to a chorus of outstanding talents, are ready to extract vengeance for generations of ancestors past. With that defense oozing with game-changing abilities, ready to turn their opposition into beef on weck, the time is now. This is their best shot at being able to make it back to the big game, albeit with an asterisk. They'll be undermanned on defense without Von Miller, who they needed on this trip. Micah Hyde should be back, but Buffalo has faced adversity before, and they'll do anything to overcome it. Anything to avoid the horrible talisman that they still rue to this day. The coin. Tried to ignore how awful they looked against the Dolphins. I overlooked a ton of red flags that popped up about this team over the year. The narratives were just too good. A snow game in Buffalo, strong favorites against Cincy, DeMar Hamlin in attendance. The Bills made sure it was a storybook ending. The tale was Rumpelstiltskin. The Emperor is without clothes. Buffalo, with everything trending in their favor, laid a massive egg. What doesn't frustrate me is the inconsistent offense, nor the persistence on Zone D, nor being outclassed in every facet. It's that this was supposed to be the year. All the talk about how Buffalo got screwed over by a coin. Everyone proclaiming you to be a Super Bowl favorite, myself included. The big signing of Von Miller? To be fair, I don't know if a healthy Von would have helped. The Bengals were just the better team. And I honestly have no idea what you'd do if you're the Bills. This was your best shot, and you muffed it. Overused like Josh Allen on offense. He is their crutch. And until let go, they are doomed to the same fate over and over. Nobody circles the wagons of futility like the Buffalo Bills.